Yeah.
You just made the list.
Hello. Welcome back to the Villain Report, where we don't sugarcoat a damn thing. I am your host, Russell Wayne. Right in there. If you are hearing me, and you out there and you love the Detroit Lions, give me a hell yeah in the comments.
We're gonna buy the kneecap off.
Let's freaking go. Welcome to the Villain Report. I am your host, Russell Wayne, the UDFA of sports podcasting. The unwanted, no draft hype, no silver spoon. I'm just a super fan with a mic talking about his favorite sports teams. You don't have to like me, but you're damn sure going to feel me. It's Villain Theory Thursday, baby. Every hero's got a story, but the villain's got a theory. And today we're diving deep into the madness, the hidden matchups, bold predictions, and maybe even a few hot takes that'll melt your phone. Strap in, because theories don't need to be safe. They just need to be true enough to scare you. And this episode is brought to you by Fanatics.com. That's right. If you're rocking with the 313, if you bleed Honolulu blue, then you need to gear up like the real one over at Fanatics, our official merch partner. I'm talking official Lions jerseys, blackout hoodies, throwback Tigers gear, WWE gear, Red Wings drip so icy it should come with a Zamboni. So here is what you do. Go into that link in the comments right there. Hit that link, save up to 25% off of your order. Every click supports the channel, the page, and lets the world know that Detroit fans do it bigger and better. Villain Squad don't do knockoffs. We do official. We do Fanatics. Get yours. We hath crossed the threshold of 83,000 villains, and we appreciate that. Come help us storm the castle of 100,000 followers on Facebook. We're getting the YouTube going too. We are slowly but surely approaching 1,000. Less than 5 people left to get to 1,000 subscribers. Hit that link in there. Go over there. Hook up the villain. Wherever you scroll, the villain rolls. That's TikTok, that's X, that's Instagram. Everywhere we go, that's where it is. Connect with the villain. Be part of the takeover, because it's faith, family, and then football in that order. And that's what we do here on this channel. Welcome, one. Welcome to my peeps. Welcome to my people that are in the comments right there. Central Scrutinizer.
You just made the list.
Davey, what's up, buddy?
You just made the list.
Davey's on the list. Rick C's in the house.
Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Tyler's in the house.
You like that?
That's right. Talk a little football today. Oh, it's no longer hump day. So let me change my background here. Since it's no longer hump day, let's get this in here to our theory building Thursday here. And there it is. We're on to the theories. How is everybody doing out there today? Got a football game tonight. You guys like NFL football on Thursdays, or is it just like last year? Who do we got? San Francisco versus the Rams. 2 3-1 teams. But the San Francisco 49ers got a whole bunch of problems. Whole bunch of problems. You got no Nick Bosa for the rest of the season. And that sucks. That sucks for them. Rick, I'm sorry to hear that, man. My prayers go out to you. My prayers for you, man. I'm sorry that you're going through that. Collective energy. Even if you don't believe in God, collective energy. I do believe that thoughts matter because you don't have to think about anything. You don't have to. You could just sit there and not think about it. And the fact that you would use energy and you just think the thought that I want Rick to be better. I want him to be able to battle these seizures and be able to come out on the right side of that. And I want that. And I say in Jesus' name at the end of that. But your thoughts do matter. So if you do think that, whether you believe in God or not, you can think good thoughts about people. You can change your thoughts. Even if you're having bad thoughts about people, you can change your thoughts. That's what the power is. So my prayers go up to you, Rick. Oh, Theory Thursday. This is something that, I'm just trying to work out some different themes. When it all comes down to it, it is just us talking about football or baseball or whatever it is. And we can throw our concerns out there for the Detroit Tigers. They dropped game 2 yesterday. And, man, it really just looks like they can't do anything without Scooble. And you're welcome, Rick. And I hope that they prove us wrong today. Because you got this game. Tigers game. This is the biggest game of the season. None of the other 190 million games that they play during the season. None of it matters. None of it matters other than this game right here. Winner goes home and gets to have talking heads like me criticize them. Whoever wins, whoever loses gets criticized. Whoever wins moves on and has a chance to win it all. Winner go home. Good morning, Mark.
You just made the list.
What's up, Jay Mommy?
You just made the list.
We don't usually get Jay Mommy and her great takes this early in the morning. I started out with a little bit of Tigers just in case you guys don't want to talk about that. But Tigers are in a win or go home situation. What are your thoughts on a win or go home situation? Because to me, my villain theory on that is you can make that whole losing 13 of 16 ugly stigma, choking away the division. You can throw that all away today by getting that victory and moving on to the division round. That's it. It's not a way out there theory, but you want to wipe it clean? You want to wipe it clean? I mean, you just had a horrible end of the season. A lot of Tigers fans were jumping off the wagon. And that's fine. They lost 13 of 16 games. I am not going to sit here and say, what kind of fan are you? I can't believe that you're not loving on the Tigers. So I'm not going to hurt you for that. I'm not going to badmouth you for it. I'm just trying to figure out where it's at, but I do want to give you that thing of hope because nothing mattered. Everything got us back to even when the playoffs started. They ended up squeaking back into the back end of the playoffs. They win today. then they just move on, and none of that 13 of 16 matters. None of it. You get another chance to rock Skubal in the second round. Hell, in a 5-game series, you get him twice. Yeah. You get Skubal to be able to pitch twice. Central Scrutinizer says that we need Joe Boo. Come on, Joe Boo. We need to get some rum in here. Do not take Joe Boo's rum. Joe Boo, you saying that Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball? And I say, F you, Joe Boo. Then I do it to myself. They got to get rid of that Joe Boo stuff. But you know what? Here we are. It's the here and the now. I don't believe in curses. I don't believe in any of that stuff. They can make it happen tonight. And I do. I hope that the Tigers win. Just like Jay Mommy says here. Now that it's good for my page when we have a winner here. You know, it's good that people love to engage. You get nicer engagements. I actually think I make more money when they lose. The page does better when all the haters come out and start complaining about the team. That right there proves that the villain don't care about money. I don't care. I'd rather have the teams doing good. But let's go out there. Let's extend this off season by a little bit. That's what I say. So next thing that I wanted to talk about was, gosh, it was nice to see Aleem McNeil. It was nice to see Aleem McNeil, you know, in the press, in the media session, seeing him there. You know, he didn't do a lot of practicing yesterday, but they opened up his 21-day window. They opened up his 21-day window, and he's out there practicing after that ACL injury last year. Oh, good morning. Dixie Normus in the house.
You just made the list.
There you go. Paul Jones is in the house. Good morning, my brother.
The list.
I got to acknowledge all my peeps. That's right. That's right. Anybody that wants to go out there with the millions of all the Villains fans that are out there, or maybe at least tens and tens of you. I love it. Love having you guys out there. But Aleem McNeil, you know, we had our little theories and speculations. They might do it. They might not do it, but they opened up his 21-day window, which is a little bit early, right? I mean, I doubt that he's going to be playing on Sunday or anything like that. I don't think I'll put him to the roster, but I think that they want to get his body doing like in-season activities, right? When you're on IR, you are isolated from parts of what the team does. You're not allowed to be in certain parts of practicing and preparation. And he's done with all of the rehab and all that stuff. There may be more rehab that he's doing on his own, but the best thing that Aleem McNeil can do now is get into football activities, because it's different than just rehabbing, right? You get the injury better, but beyond rehab, you got to get your body ready to play football, which I don't think that he's ready for. You know, kudos to the injury, the surgeons and what they're doing with ACL surgeries nowadays. It's crazy. It used to be a 2-year process to come back from an ACL, and now you're talking 6 to 9 months for an ACL now. And then the ACL is even stronger. So they've went crazy awesome when it comes to the technology of coming back from some of these injuries. It's insane. It's insane. So, lots of theories of when he might come back. And I do believe that it has to do with more of the football activities, like Rick's, like Aleem will get a few snaps versus the Bucs. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Jason MC got beat so bad I'm coming in for a second serving. Broiled crow. Oh,
You've had enough of that shit.
sorry about that, man. We all go through it. Lions know all about losing. So you're not going to get too much sympathy from me. You know, just your turn. Sit down. But I'm glad that you're here. I wouldn't totally give up on a 2-2 team yet, though, Jason. I always like to try to encourage. You know, I don't think the Vikings are done. Brian Flores can still coach defense. And sometimes it's just a matter of, you know, getting the new guys up to speed and then getting them to buy in what's going on. Because you can just start hitting on all cylinders, and all of a sudden you win a couple games. You're 4-2. You know, it could happen for you, or it could go the other way. But don't lose hope yet, Jason. Don't lose hope. Let's see what the Vikings got going on for you, brother. I'm going to bring them up on my special computer right here. Right here. So, you got took the season. So you lose. You beat the Bears in week 1, and that was pretty traumatic. Then you get beat down by the Vikings, or not the Vikings, but the Vikings get beat down by the Falcons, 22-6, and then you were able to beat down the Bengals, which so far it looks like everybody gets to beat down on the Bengals with no Joe Burrow. And then you lose a close game to the Steelers. Now, Carson Wentz didn't have a great game in that game. You know, threw for a ton of yards, but threw some costly interceptions. Yeah, I wouldn't give up on that team yet. Because when you can lean on your defense, you know, it covers up a lot of, like, if your offense is struggling. And you got to figure out some things on offense, but you got those playmakers. So it's like you got one of the best wide receivers in the NFL in Justin Jefferson. And I say one of the best now because I do believe now I am on the villain perch right here from the top looking down with Amon-Ra St. Brown. There's Amon-Ra St. Brown is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Him and Goff have an uncanny type of connection. And not only is he the best wide receiver in the NFL, but he's putting himself on Randy Moss level and Calvin Johnson level. You know, it's been long enough that it's not, oh, well, maybe he's not fast enough 40, all that, you know, he's a slot merchant. No, he's proving you all wrong. He is a bona fide number one wide receiver, and he does it better than any. Number one wide receiver, best wide receiver. He's not top 5. He's not top 3. He's top 2, and he's not 2. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the sun god, reigns supreme. Top wide receiver in the NFL. That's my villain theory. I've had these feelings for a couple of years. I've felt it. I would take Amon-Ra St. Brown over any wide receiver. If I'm starting a franchise from the beginning right here, right now, damn right I'll take him over Justin Jefferson. You're damn right I'll take him over Jamar Chase. You're damn right I'll take him over Higgins, Miko Collins. I'll take him over CeeDee Lamb. I'll take him over DK Metcalf. I'll take Amon-Ra St. Brown over any wide receiver because he is him. He's not a wide receiver. He's a football player. He plays the game. He plays clutch. You want those kind of guys on your team. He's running towards the danger. Amon-Ra St. Brown. What do you think of that theory? I mean, I know that I'm not going to get much pushback on a top 5 wide receiver anymore. I don't think many people would push back on me if I told you that Amon-Ra was a top 5 wide receiver. That's not a hot take. But number 1, bona fide, number 1 wide receiver, looking down, reigning supreme on all the wide receivers. That's a hot take. Number 1. Oh, but he doesn't do it as good as Justin Jefferson. He doesn't have all the. Nope. They can bow down. They all can bow down now. Amon-Ra St. Brown is him. I've been waiting for Jason MC to come in here and challenge that theory on there. And I'm not talking about even just this year. I'm talking about the whole body of work. When there's enough work that is on display over the course of his career so far, and his numbers are measuring up with that of Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, Fitzgerald, his longevity is starting to creep in. He is going to pass Herman Moore as number 2. And then I think he's going to pass Calvin Johnson too in numbers. It's just a matter of time. And now it's been long enough that I'm coming out of the woodworks right here, and I'm taking off of that mask of just putting him on that top 5. He's not top 5. He's not top 3. He's top 2, and he isn't 2. Show me somebody that can block better than him, that knows the plays better than him, that works harder than him. Central Scrutinizers here. What happened to the Packer fans? I miss the banter. Yeah, they do. They go into witness protections when things don't go their way. They don't own their losses or their ties. They hide. They hide in the background. And then they'll come on to the show after they win, like Gollum. They can't see because the lights are so bright. And they go, see, go back out. And then they come out like Gollum. And then I'll say, where did you go, Steve? You were talking all the trash in the comments. Where'd you go, John Dorn? Where did you go? Oh, I had some other things going on. Oh, my life came in. Oh, but your life is completely fine when the Packers are doing well. But all of a sudden, when they don't do well, that's when I got to take the trash out. I have responsibilities. What do you think? I just sit around here and just talk football all day? Well, yeah, that's what I do. So, no, they're in witness protection right now. They're worried about Pete the Unaliver coming to their doorstep. talking a little trash back. They can dish it, but they can't take it. But that's why we're seasoned. We're seasoned veterans. Detroit Lion fans, we know all about losing. You can't shake us losing one game. That's how you can tell the new Lion fans from the old Lion fans. The ones that got the OG. What? That's just one loss. Whatever. The new age Lion fans, man, you lose one game, they want to fire everybody. They want to go cry on and say, "Oh man, we should have gotten a pass rusher. Brad Holmes is so dumb." Ah. But the seasoned Lion fans, the ones that have been here for a while, been through a little bit of losing, says, "Oh man, hold my beer. You don't know what losing is." Green Bay Packer fans, man, they scatter. They head to witness protection, and they didn't even lose the game. They tied. Rick C says, "Isn't that what the pod is for? Supposed to talk football." Yeah, and Rick knows I'm not going to be mean to Packer fans. I'll give it to him a little bit. But my only problem with them is they come out and they talk all this big game, and then they disappear. It's like, wow, I didn't even get to retort. You didn't allow me to retort. You just come in after you win and you pretend like the story starts right after the last time that you won. And it was a 3-year absence. It was a 3-year absence for John Dorn and Steve. They popped in every once in a while, but they were gone. They win a game, they come out real hot and tough for 2 weeks, and then they go back into witness protection. I don't want to handle any more punishment from the villain. The villain gives me too much punishment. I do not want any more. I do not want any more. And when the villain reigns supreme once again, the UDFA, the grinder, I'll outlast all of you. Mark Orlando, this is a great question right here. What is more embarrassing for the Packers? A loss to the Browns or a tie with the Cowgirls?
You've had enough of that shit.
I don't know. We just played the Browns. Browns actually have a really good defense. But honestly, I would think that the tie with the Cowgirls would be more embarrassing because that's who you traded your draft capital for Micah Parsons to make you into Super Bowl contenders. And you can't even beat the team that lost its supposed best player. You can't even get a dub. You should have lost that game too, Packer fans. Let's be honest. Don't give me all that lucky stuff because we blocked. Oh God, if we would have had 2 blocked field goals, then we'd be 4-0. Be quiet. Be quiet. You're lucky that the referee gave you a second at the end of the overtime, and they didn't just send your sorry asses homes with the L because you managed the clock so poorly in overtime. How do you not beat that team? Did Dak Prescott expose the Packers defense? Dak Prescott. What excuse do you have with that, Packer fan? Because right now, it really looks like your team got a whole bunch of energy in a 17-round fight, 17 games, and you gassed yourself out by the second week in the season. Now, that's just my theory. That's just the theory. But that's what it looks like. Looks like you went through and showed us all of your moves by week 2. You came out, puffed your chest out, and then now you're looking gassed. You're looking like Dak Prescott may have given the NFL a blueprint on how to turn that Green Bay Packer defense into Swiss cheese. But don't worry, Packer fans. Even though your defense gave up 40 points, PFF did still grade Micah Parsons really well. So you can hang your hat on that. I'll pause the show for this. And you never have to apologize, Mark.
You just made the list!
You never do. Being a minister in the Flint area has been busy this week. Please pray for the families and all involved in the tragic event in Grand Blanc. That has affected us, Mark, and that is worthy of our thoughts. And like I said, I mean, teaching somebody how to pray, it's not that hard because it is literally your thoughts. And do not underestimate the power of your thoughts. Even if you don't believe in God, your thoughts on this matter. You put your thoughts, you think about it, you say, I want some positive things to happen. I'm envisioning positive things happening for the families of the people that are in Grand Blanc. Just putting your thoughts on that everything would be okay, that all of their medical needs would be served, or anything that could turn around, because I don't even know what specifically to pray for in those families. But just your thoughts on the subject. I believe that matters. Whether you believe in God or whether you don't believe in God. You can think nice thoughts. You can think about these families that were involved in that tragic event in Grand Blanc. And that matters. Whether you believe in God or not, I believe that God hears that prayer. Even if you're not praying, He listens to the thoughts of all of His children. And then I add the thought at the end of the thought, the positive thought, you add the text of in Jesus' name. In Jesus' powerful name. Amen. I hope that that's helpful when it comes to the prayer. Like if you struggle with that and you don't believe, you don't have to believe. You can understand that your thoughts do have weight. You can. So God bless you for doing that, Mark, by the way. That's a servant. He understands service. Sometimes it's something that's bigger than ourselves. And look at that. Look at that support. Look at that support. That's why I love this program. Because it's faith, family, and then football. Look at that. God bless you guys. It's beautiful. And I am thankful. I'm thankful. I get to do this. I get to do this. I am blessed in this way to be able to stand on a platform and, you know, represent anything that I want. And that freedom, I'm not gonna take it for granted. You know, not everybody can just jump onto a platform and say whatever they want, even if you disagreed with me. That liberty is in danger right here. You know, with assassinations and like the war against free speech. It ain't about agreeing with people. It's about just being an individual and being able to have the thoughts and be able to say whatever you want to say. You should be able to do that. Even if you have unorthodox thoughts. But this is Theory Thursday. I got that theory. That the Green Bay Packers are looking like they ran out of gas. Looking like they came out powerful. But they may have ran out of gas. Because you don't drop a game to the Browns and then tie Dak Prescott and you're a Super Bowl contender. I'm sorry. I don't see how anybody could look at you as a top 5 team. And you beat my team. You beat my team. At least I'm not in witness protection, and I can admit that. What happened to your team, Green Bay? Do you still think that you're powerful? You know, I'm doing a top 5 list, and you ain't on it.
You just made the list!
But the Lions are, even though you beat us, the Lions are better. The Lions are better than the Packers. And there's a countdown to D-Day. That's Detroit. That is Detroit destroying the Packers Day. Thanksgiving. We are going to spoil your turkey unless you figure something out. Because if that Packers team, if that team that showed up, Dallas, if that's the team that shows up on Thanksgiving, we are going to dog walk that Packers on Thanksgiving. Don't bring that shitty team to Detroit unless you want to get whooped. You want to get whooped, Packers? Show up with that team that showed up in Dallas. You better bring a better game than that. And one of my other theories here is that McNeil's return. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people thinking that he's going to come back and play some snaps in Tampa Bay, and I would like that.
You like that?
If he could come back that early. But I do believe that is going to be after the bye. I do believe that they are having the 21-day window because it lines up perfectly for him to not play in that game, elevate him to the roster on the 21st day, which would be the Monday after the Tampa Bay game. And they would have been able to utilize the entire 21-day window of the practice, because that's the thing that he hasn't been able to do through all the theory. You know, he hasn't been able to, or the therapy. Through all the therapy, he hasn't been able to do, I mean, and I'm not even sure what that is, but I do know that there are things that you are not allowed to do when you're on IR. You don't have access to the same practicing, and you're not allowed to be in some of the rooms during some of the game planning or whatever that is. I don't know exactly what those things are, but I know that there are things that he doesn't have access to when he's on the IR. And by elevating him and putting him in this 21-day window where they could put him on the roster, he does have access to those things. So I believe, in my theory, I have nothing to back this up, it just feels like it, that they would use the entire 21 days. He wouldn't play this week. He wouldn't play in Kansas City. He won't play in Tampa Bay. And then they go on the bye. They would elevate him to the roster, and then he would have the 2 weeks, and his first game would be against Minnesota. That's my theory in that. What is your theory on Aleem McNeil? Dwayne Keene, what's up, brother?
You just made the list!
Good to see ya. Nice to see ya. Dwayne says, let's go Detroit Tigers, win or go home. That brings me to that other part. That's another one of my theories. The Detroit Tigers, you know, they have a chance today at 3 p.m. to win and move on in the postseason, but it means so much more than that. You know, they lost 13 of 16 games to end the season, choked away the division. My theory is that if they win today, then you sweep all of that under the rug and all is forgiven, and then you move on. I completely forgive them. You lose today, well, then everything that they said about you during the collapse, the 13 of 16, all of it's true. So it don't matter unless they win. But finish the job, and then all of that winning that Cleveland did to get back into the race and win the division, it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. Lion fans should know everything about that. We won the division. We got the first round bye. We felt all good and bubbly. And then we got beaten in the first round. Who cares about that division title? That's what I hear. I don't care about that division title anymore. Who cares? Doesn't mean anything. You didn't win the title. No, I think it's important to win the division. It's still important to win the division. Just because you lost in the first round of the playoffs after winning the division, it doesn't make not winning the division important. But last year's division title doesn't mean anything. It's nice that they won 2 division titles in a row. You know, after going so long without winning it. You know, it takes another one of those, you know, chips, you know, the arguing points. When we're doing all of our trash talking, you know, under Campbell, he's changed the narrative. So, go Tigers and help change that narrative. And what's the narrative for the Tigers? Hey, bro. Hey, bruh. You lost 13 of 16. You choked away the division. That's the narrative. I didn't make it up. It's there. Don't yell at me about it. That's what it is. You lost 13 of 16. Your play went straight down the shitter.
You've had enough of that shit.
And now you have a chance to let it all be forgiven. I will forgive you. You can be forgiven. Well, God will forgive you anyway. But I'm not God, and I ain't so forgiving. How do you get the villain's forgiveness? Like that matters. How do you get it? Win tonight. Win today, this afternoon. Then it's all forgiven. Then that 13 of 16 doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. Because then you move on. Because what were you fighting for? Oh, I need to win the division. Oh, we need a first round bye. Well, you win today. You didn't need the first round bye. You ended up in the division round anyway. And who cares? If you beat Cleveland, who cares if they won the division? We beat you in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. How's your division title feeling for you now, Cleveland? That's what I'll say tomorrow if the Tigers win. How's that division title treating you, Cleveland? So all you got to do is win, and all is forgiven. That's my theory. It's not a take. It's a theory. Every hero's got a plan, but the villain's got a theory. What else we got? Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker has had some nagging shoulder injuries. But yet the Lions have had some primo offensive line play over the last 3 weeks. 0 sacks. I mean, last year we were supposed to, we lost Frank Ragnow. We lost Ben Johnson. What are we going to do? The offensive line, we got 2 new rookies are starting. What are we going to do? No Kevin Zeitler. What are we going to do? Well, it turns out that the offensive line is even better than it was last year. And this isn't a prediction, it's a spoiler, right? One of the things I'm taking my victory lap since I do own when I get things wrong. You got to give me some credit for getting some things right. Hank Fraley. I had no worries about this Frank Ragnow thing. And it's panning out exactly the way that you would think that it would pan out. Nobody is Frank Ragnow. I would never claim that Glasgow is better than Ragnow. It just isn't going to happen. But what you can do is you can get good play out of your center, and that's what you're getting from Glasgow. After a horrible first game, game 2, game 3, game 4, Glasgow has been a rock in the middle. Good. Good. Not as good as Ragnow, but good. Good. Solid. But what you are getting is one of my theories is that whoever plays next to Penei Sewell is going to have a career year. First, it was Glasgow. In 2022, it was Glasgow had a career year next to Penei Sewell. Then they bring in Zeitler. Zeitler has a career year next to Penei Sewell. Now we draft a rookie, Tate Ratledge. He is a stud. He's the most athletic. It's an upgrade. Tate Ratledge is an upgrade over Kevin Zeitler in Glasgow. And it's not a big surprise. You know why? Because they lined him right next to Penei Sewell. So, and then you got Mahogany on the other side. Now, we've had horrible play on the left guard side. The left guard side has not been the great, even though we've had, a top 5 offensive line, top 3 offensive line all the way through. That's what it seems like. But that left guard position Hasn't been as good as the right side. Just over the last 3 years. Right side, great. You've had Frank Ragnow in there. But now I actually think that when you look at right and left guard, that you actually got an upgrade. You got an upgrade from last year. Because it was bad last year, just having Mahogany be above average is better than it was. And then having Ratledge be right in there, and I mean, he's playing at a really high level right off the bat. And I think that Tate Ratledge, my theory, right next to Penei Sewell is special. I think both of those players might be generational next to each other. It's definitely the most talented offensive lineman that the Lions have had next to Sewell. And now you got a guy that's there. You got Penei Sewell signed till whenever. He'll be here for life. And you got Tate Ratledge for the next 4 years on a rookie deal right next to him. That's looking really good, guys. That's looking really good. Yeah, I think that this draft, you know, after what some might have called a step back draft in 24, this draft is looking really good. Tyleik Williams in the first round. Now, me being a Buckeye fan, I've watched Tyleik Williams. It is not a surprise that he's really good because he's doing for the Lions exactly what he was doing at Ohio State for his time there. He gets his big paws up in the air, he bats down passes, and he lives in the backfield to stop the run. That's what Tyleik Williams is. That's looking like a good pick. And now you're a couple of weeks away from having a Lee McNeil and having a trifecta in the middle. That's awesome. Tate Ratledge, O-line, Hank Fraley. You're adding those young pieces in there, Mahogany and Ratledge. That's looking good. That's looking good for the next couple of years. You know, the next 3 years, you're going to have 2 starting players making $75 in the middle of your offensive line. It's all part of the master plan. You know, you had to get younger at that position. And now you can see how they're going to manage this money. You don't need to go out and make these big spends. And then you got Tesla. And then you got Tesla right there. Tesla. You know, they haven't had to ask him to do much. That's one of the great things about Tesla. I can't believe that you blah, 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 blah. I can't blah, I haven't seen him play yet, but I'm gonna still pitch. Blah blah blah. That's what I think. That's what I think of people that bitch about draft picks before they've played. Wah 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 wah. It's a bunch of noise. You got to see him play. And the good thing about Tesla is because I have Amon-Ra, because I have Khalif Raymond, because I have Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, you haven't had to have Tesla go out there and make the impact for you. I'm sure that he could. If he was on any other team, I'm sure that they would give him more reps, but now they can wean him in. You got a secret weapon. Really, you don't even have to bust them out yet. You know, the Lions can stay pat on a lot of stuff. They've had plays that have just been in their Rolodex over here, and they just been holding on to it. You know, that double flip They've had that in their playbook. I guess they've been practicing it for like 2 years. You don't know when you're going to need some of those plays. But when you need them, you got them. That's a powerful reel I threw up with Chris Carter. He's talking about, Gibbs was complaining to Amon-Ra, talking about that play that they ran, the double flip. It's like, man, why are we practicing these plays if we're not going to use them? And Amon-Ra St. Brown said, yeah, I don't know. I don't know when we're going to use them. But you want to have the play at your disposal. Because when you do need it, you got it. When you need it. And they needed it. And it worked. So, I think the Lions are playing chess. And some of the other people are playing checkers. According to most fans, we apparently have 22 first-round picks and $17 trillion to spend on free agents. Yeah. They don't take it into consideration. But here's a problem, Paul. When people say stuff like, oh, we need to F those picks, right? We want to go trade for, whoever, right? Trey Hendrickson or Micah Parsons, right? And at the same time, they'd say something like, oh, well, it doesn't matter because the Lions are going to have to choose between Jack Campbell and Brian Branch and blah, 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 right? And I say, bullshit. I call bullshit. My theory is that we're going to sign everybody. We ain't going to choose between Jack Campbell. Haven't you seen what Philadelphia's been doing? We're going to keep all of our players. We're going to keep all of the players. We don't got to choose between Brian Branch and Gibbs no, we're keeping all of them. We're going to sign Sam Laporta. We're going to sign Jahmyr Gibbs. We're going to sign Jack Campbell. We're going to sign Brian Branch. All of them. We're going to sign all of them. Watch it happen. They're going to sign all of them. Look at the contracts. Go to Over the Cap and look at the contracts. Kirby Joseph's contract isn't even going to touch us for 3 years. Jameson Williams' contract isn't going to touch us for 3 years. And when they sign Aiden Hutchinson, that contract isn't going to touch us for 3 years, just like the Micah Parsons. Why does that contract gymnastics only work for other teams, but when it comes to the Lions, it doesn't? So why didn't we sign Micah Parsons? Because we're going to sign all of our players. All of them. Not part of them. Not making a choice between Branch and Laporta. We're going to have to make a choice because we don't have enough money. Shut up about how much not having enough money. I don't want anybody to get it twisted with how I feel when I say we might trade a player, we might do this, or we might do that. No, we want to keep our players. And when people ask me questions, if I had one expendable player, if I would do it, and it's like, I don't have any expendable players, but if I had to expend one, it would have been Jameson because I thought we could get the most value out of him in the trade, out of all the players. I mean, you'd probably get more out of Hutchinson, but he's kind of like the prodigal son. You don't get rid of him. But we don't get rid of any of them. My theory is that they're not going to get rid of anybody. They're going to keep all of these guys. Keep the core together. Micah Parsons is a great talent, but I never wanted Micah Parsons here. Never. Never wanted Micah Parsons here. Not because he's not a talented player, but because he hasn't been here. He didn't spend 3 years like Aiden Hutchinson did. Learning the system, being around the culture, understanding how things work. Jack Campbell has been here. Brian Branch has been here. Why would you want to change any of that for a brand new guy? Great. Those guys are talented. Trey Henderson, talented. Micah Parsons, talented. I don't want them because they haven't been here. We didn't grow that talent. You know? Why go across the town to Meyer when you can go in your backyard and, you know, you can go grow your own vegetables? Oh, but Meyer's got a pepper that it's so big and juicy. Great. I got juicy peppers in my backyard. I've been growing them. I'm going to eat those. Oh, no, you should get rid of those. Just trade them. You can just trade them with them. No, but our peppers are juicy too. We like our peppers. We like what we grow. Oh, Jack Campbell's not as good as Micah Parsons. Yeah, I don't know. He's a hell of a lot cheaper than Micah Parsons. You know, so many of these people want to go out and trade the farm, but why? Why would you want to trade the farm when the shit that you're growing on the farm is delicious and good? Contracts get restructured all of the time. And that's the God's honest truth. And that'll be the last thing that I do here today. I'm going to go through and this is one of the things I love to be able to do. I'm going to go and I got some over the cap here for you. So, let's get into this over the cap. And I'll just show you how easy this is. It's like we don't have to worry. We're signing all of our guys. Like the biggest complaint that I hear that people say is that here you got 2025 salaries, right? Here's 2026 salary. This is where everybody's freaking out, right? You're not going to have DJ Reader next year, but that's okay. DJ Reader is going to serve his purpose here. Maybe they'll sign him to a one-year deal, but the idea was to have Tyleek and Aleem McNeil be the ones going forward. There's your future right there. But next year, oh my God, Goff's contract is $69 million. What are we gonna do? Well, so far, without making any moves whatsoever, without restructuring his contract, we're still at a surplus. We still got $2 million for next year. We have restructured some of our money down from in 2025. There's $28 million left, right? There was 40, but now we've done some contracts. Now this is no longer a negative. But if we needed money, right, you need to sign Aiden Hutchinson. Well, Aiden Hutchinson's cap number is $19 million next year because he's on a fifth-year option. Well, you can take that cap number of $69 million. What you do is you restructure, and you're allowed to take base salary and convert it to signing bonus. So you can take up to $50 million, really $54 million. You could lower the cap number and create $54 million next year. And right there, just that one move alone, you could sign Aiden Hutchinson, Brian Branch. Well, but let us go even further, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? His cap number next year is $33 million. Oh, well, look. His base salary is $27 million. Well, there's another $27 million we have available to us. Do you think that maybe we might like to have Amon-Ra St. Brown for a couple more years? You think we might want to extend him at all? Why not? Why not? And then you got access to that money. Penei Sewell. Do you think we might want to keep Penei Sewell around? You could restructure him and save up to $20 million. Shall I keep going? How about Aleem McNeil? Aleem McNeil, we could restructure and send some of that money down. Have $23 million available. So the money's there, guys. Stop telling me how much money that we have. One of my favorite things to do is to look at the money. I love the money side of it. And they got plenty of money. They can sign all of these guys. Stop telling me, miss me. Like, not even close. Miss me with the fact that the Lions can't sign their guys and they won't be able to keep all of their all-pro guys for the long term. This team is built right now, already built. Now you just draft. Now you sign these guys to long-term deals. You get all of the guys that were your core foundation guys. You sign them long-term and you continue to draft well. And this draft class that we just had looks pretty damn good to complement spending high money on a left tackle, right? Next year, I don't know if they're going to keep Taylor Decker around. You know, is it Giovanni Manu time? And if that's the case, and you got 3 guys on rookie deals, well, then you just got to figure out the center position, and you have completely reshaped your O-line, and you got it working for 4 years. You got Mahogany and Ratledge for the next 3 years on rookie deals. So this has been a masterclass in capology. Our general manager is a straight up G. He deserves nothing but the praise. Anybody that's criticizing him, I mean, learn football. Learn football and stop crying because we didn't go trade for Micah Parsons or some other big name that would destroy everything that he's built. Keep doing what you're doing, Brad Holmes.
You just made the list!
So I want to thank everybody for being part of the show today. That's been Theory Thursday. I thought Theory Thursday went pretty damn well. If you ask me, Theory Thursday. Theory Thursday is, you know, what are your crazy theories? Let me know what your crazy theories are. You could still throw them in there. You have time. Tomorrow, we're going to get into the Know Thy Enemy segment. We're going to dive in deep to how the villain thinks that we should just dismantle these Cincinnati Bengals. We should definitely move to 4-1. You know, it's any given Sunday, but this is a game that the Lions should be able to win, and they should be able to win it convincingly. Make sure that you connect with me on Facebook, on YouTube. Are you a fan of Detroit sports? Do you love the Tigers? Do you love the Lions? Do you love the Red Wings and the Pistons? Then connect with me. Like, comment, share. Appreciate you. Ask a question. And if you don't know what to put into the comments, well, then you can just follow Stone Cold Steve Austin. It says, if you love Detroit Lions, give me a hell yeah. And then throw that hell yeah. Throw that into the comments if you don't know what to put. Episode brought to you by Fanatics.com. If you're a fan of Detroit sports and you're rocking with the 313, then you need to gear up like the real one over at Fanatics, our official merch partner. I'm talking Lions jerseys, blackout hoodies, throwback Tigers gear, WWE gear, Red Wings drip so icy that it should come with a Zamboni. Here's what you do. You click that link in the description, save up to 25% off of your order. Every click supports the channel, the page, and lets the world know that Detroit fans do it bigger, and they do it better. Villain Squad, we don't do knockoffs. We do official. We do Fanatics. Get yours. And it's faith, family, then football. On this program, we use football. We don't let football use us. We use that football. Create those memories. And use it to bless your family. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you. Until we meet again in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
You just made the list!